daarso, geen kans. Ek gaan double check daarvoor en dan terugkom, okay?
Okay, I think this is on and working now. We did record a video earlier. I'm told it didn't load or something was wrong. I'm not sure. I was asked to do another one, an update, because my daughter's still not home and I still haven't seen her. And there's quite a few people have asked for help. It's my understanding of the law of children's rights that if something like this is reported to you as a social worker or any other citizen for that matter, and any and especially all citizens that do work that belong to that do work that belong to governing bodies, it is your statutory duty to report this and to intervene. The doctor's office is in big trouble. Because we've requested the records because people say I'm lying. Magistrate Dixon, you accuse me of lying. Other people, you accuse me of lying. You won't help me because the doctor didn't report it. The practice has assured me the doctor will be rectifying her mistake. I'm getting the records. I'm not lying. So besides the doctor and the practice being liable for whatever's going on there, the harm, because they didn't report it and didn't follow the correct procedures, anyone else that I've reported this matter to, anyone else, no matter who you are, a social worker, a lawyer, a dominee, a teacher, anyone and all of you by law have an ethical duty, a legal duty. You are bound by the law to report this matter. Do you realize that all of you are guilty and liable for the harm that is going on here?
Not only here, but also in the afterlife. You need to think what you're doing, you need to get your fears in order, because it is going to come faster than you think, and it is going to hurt you faster than you think. You have no idea what you are allowing into your life, and into your family life, and into your family tree.
So I actually want to read to you again from Jeremiah again, from the Bible again. Jeremiah 1. The call of Jeremiah. Here I'm reading from the Bible. The word of the Lord came to me saying, no, it's fine. That's God speaking. The word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Ah, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I'm only a child. But the Lord said to me, do not say I am only a child. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and I will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, now I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. The word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see the branch of an almond tree, I replied. The Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. The word of the Lord came to me again. What do you see? I see a boiling pot, tilting away from the north, I answered. The Lord said to me, from the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdoms, declares the Lord. Their kings will come and set up their thrones in the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. They will come against all her surrounding walls and against all the towns of Judah. I will pronounce judgments on my people because of their wickedness in forsaking me, in burning incense to other gods and worshipping what their hands have made. Get yourself ready, stand up, and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Another translation says, do not be petrified by them, or I will petrify you before them. Do you want to be petrified by the Lord? I don't want to. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, says the Bible. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and its people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. In Ephesians 6, from verse 10, we read about the armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, which I have done, to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, because I'm speaking the truth. With the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. I am not a troublemaker. This is a plight for peace. Just bring my daughter home safely with her mother. I'm just asking for peace. And with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith. That is what I'm doing. I'm using my shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. All. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints. Do you notice how many times it says they're all? For those of you who like to judge and write people off and stop speaking to people and leave people in prison. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints. Pray also for me, that whenever I open my mouth, words may be given me, so that I will fearlessly make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains. Himansdorp, Captain Nikustander, you chained me, you cuffed me, you've taken away my voice and my rights and my ability to care for my daughter, raise her, mother her, protect her, speak for her, help her. But I am an ambassador in chains for the gospel, fearlessly, because it is a commandment from God not to be terrified. Pray that I may declare it fearlessly as I should. In Philippians 4, from verse 4, it says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, family and friends, you are called. This is your call to help. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice. Christians, family, friends, you are called to help. Not just by God and the Bible and His words, which is above everything else, But even by law, it's your duty. It's been reported to you. You have to report it and intervene. God says, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Peace. I'm not a troublemaker. I'm asking for peace, and I don't know how to get it because no court will listen to me. I don't get called into courtrooms. My cases get removed from the roll. Clerks refuse to take my applications. So what am I supposed to do? I miss my daughter. I love my daughter. I've explained everything to you for hours. I did it this way. It's a live, honest testimony, like what I was supposed to be allowed to give in court, but I wasn't allowed to, so I'm doing it like this. But this can literally be submitted just like that to court.
As it was to Majali.
Yes, I was on trial before Magistrate Majali.
And then she disappeared.
And then because I had to leave, because Magistrate Dixon threatened to put my daughter in foster care, and she didn't make my daughter safe, and she didn't request the doctor's records, and she didn't listen to me, because I tried to go and get help. Do you know what they did? I told them, you reported to the Legal Practice Council. Here's the reference numbers. I told them, you reported to the Human Rights Commission. I told them, you've been reported to SAPS investigation units. Here's the case reference numbers. I'm going to get help because you're not listening to me. The emails are there on record. They went ahead while I was getting help for my daughter because they are silencing my voice and guilty of corruption and crime.
And child abuse.
And child abuse.
In your absence.
In my absence, by default, without my consent.
After 3 years of fighting,
they carried on with the divorce. Magistrate Majali, maybe you were deceived. I'm not sure if Ms. Toli Mbekela gave you the email, and if you indeed went through all the records and everything that had happened since the last time you saw me. Because if you went through that file and read all the emails and the 3 applications I brought before the court since the last time I saw you, that were done by Magistrate Dixon and not by the magistrate who was handling the divorce, even though I asked for it. I said to them, why is Magistrate Dixon handling these ex partes and interlocutory interim procedures when she's not the magistrate for the divorce? I said to them, this makes no sense, because we've had 3 days of trial and 3 years of a divorce battle. She doesn't know the history. She hasn't read every single family advocate's report. She was not in court. She didn't hear Mr. Bradshaw lie. She didn't hear my testimony. She's got no idea what's going on in this divorce. And yet she was the presiding magistrate for extremely important interlocutory ex parte procedures, making court orders about the safety of my daughter when she knows nothing. How? How is this legal, Himansdorp?
Do you remember the day that I left court and she chased me out?
Yes.
That day, she said to you before the recording started, as per usual, she has a rant and a rave before the recording starts. She said, "Is there a problem with me being on this case, Miss Bradshaw?" After hearing about that email, the first one.
Yes, I think it's unethical and illegal. I was told apparently it's not. And so I gave you a chance, Magistrate Dixon. I gave you a chance. And you said yourself many times in court on record that you haven't read everything, you don't know everything. You said it yourself. So then how is it legal for you to have the authority to make court orders that affects my and my daughter's life when you don't know everything? And you accused me that I didn't tell you that I couldn't afford to take Ariel to school.
And then she says she can't make court orders.
I'm getting to that. You accused me that I didn't explain to you that there was a problem, that I can't drive Ariel to school every single day to school and back. I can't afford it. Because you made a court order saying she has to be physically present in school every day. And you say I didn't raise the concern. But if you remember correctly, you were shouting at me, you were badgering me, you were talking over me. You were so ugly to me. You wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise.
Even walking out before Naomi had finished speaking. She just got up and walked out the court.
Yes, I remember still trying to explain things to you. I remember saying to you, I am not done speaking. And you walked out of that courtroom.
Fool.
And then in the next court appearance, you want to tell me that I didn't raise the concern. But you wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't let me raise it. And so there was a court order that said Ariel has to be in school every single day. And I sent an email and I explained this is not possible. Because as my ex parte application mentioned, when I asked you to keep my daughter safe, it also said, her father is not paying maintenance. He owes me 3 years of maintenance. Can you please help me? Because I can't get a court date with the maintenance officer. You were aware of all the maintenance he owes you. He owes me. But you did not practically understand the gravity of what I was trying to tell you. You didn't realize and equal 1 + 1, that she's asking you for help with the maintenance, but you're making a court order. You think you've solved the situation because you give us 50-50. Ariel must be with me 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. In theory, that sounds lovely. I was so grateful. But I live kilometers away from a school I did not choose for her. For many reasons, one of them being, in Jeffreys Bay, it is extremely difficult to get a rental home that is child and pet friendly. If you go and look on the advertisements on Marketplace, on private property, on all of the sites, a small affordable flat or home, especially the ones in the complexes, they say not pet friendly. And do you know what, Jeffreys Bay? So many of them say not pet or child friendly. Not pet or child friendly. So besides the many other reasons for us living on the farm, it's very difficult to live in Jeffreys Bay if you have pets and children, because you're a normal, loving human being. So we live on a farm, or we did at the time we've moved, outside of Jeffreys Bay, halfway to PE. It's far away, Magistrate Dixon. You said you don't know where I live, but I'm pretty sure my address is on record, and you would know where I live if you were the presiding magistrate for the divorce and you knew the entire case and all its complexities and the history. You didn't know where I lived. You didn't take the maintenance into consideration. You didn't understand the immense amount of money it would cost me to drive my daughter to Jeffreys Bay and back twice a day for school every day for a week, when I'm struggling to pay for electricity and petrol to court to fight for her. So I tried to make arrangements with the school, because you told me yourself, Magistrate Dixon, that Forest has a distance learning program. I asked the principal for help. I explained the situation. I said, can the teacher just send her work to me? I will do it with her at home. I will send it to her teacher. Her schoolwork for the entire week will be done at home. Can they facilitate a distance learning program just for the weeks that she's with me, because we don't have the petrol money to take her, and she can still go to school when she's at Jade's house? I didn't say it was a perfect solution or that everyone's going to be happy about it, but it was my suggestion, and no one came with a better option. I asked you for help, Magistrate Dixon. I asked you for help, teacher and Forest principal. No one came with another option or solution. This is a repeated pattern of behavior in the divorce, where I come with suggestions, I come with solutions, I come with options. I ask for roundtable meetings. I ask for meetings with the school principal. I ask to be heard in court. I explain my situation. I tried and tried and tried. You accused me of being in contempt of court for not wanting to take Ariel to school, and it wasn't because I didn't want to, besides all the problems at that school and the fact that my signature is not on there. You said to me, Magistrate Dixon, that you do not have the authority to change and amend court orders. I cannot just change a court order, you said, when I asked you for help. But when I left, because I reported you to the Legal Practice Council, and I wanted to go tell a higher court with authority over you what you did to me, and how you threatened to put my girl in foster care, and how you threatened to appoint legal aid for her. When I left and I was not standing in front of you, all of a sudden you had the authority to amend the court order and take my contact rights away with my daughter. That is what happened, Jeffreys Bay. When I stand in front of the magistrate asking for help, she says she cannot amend court orders. When I leave and try and get help somewhere else, she amends court orders in my absence by default without my consent, and takes away my contact rights with my daughter. But you told me to my face you do not have the authority to amend court orders. So which is it, Magistrate Dixon? Do you or do you not? Because if you didn't, then that court order is not valid. Then I still have contact rights with my daughter. Then she must come home. So which one is it? And I sent an email informing both you, and I said to Xoli, please make sure both magistrates get this. Magistrate Majali was supposed to receive every single update of every single horrible thing you did to me, Magistrate Dixon, between the time she had last seen me and heard all Mr. Bradshaw's lies. You were not supposed to carry on with the divorce in my absence by default without my consent. I'm not sure what you told Magistrate Majali. I'm not sure what you hid from her, because she seemed like a lovely woman, and she was not impressed with Mr. Jade and his lies and the fact that he wasn't paying maintenance and all the trouble he was causing. I was doing well in my divorce trial, very well. Because Mr. Bradshaw lied in court, obviously, disgustingly, clearly, blatantly. I was doing well. It would have gone in my favor. And so, Mr. Spangenberg and Magistrate Dixon and Steyn, I am fully aware that you escalated the situation and threatened to put my daughter in foster care and appoint legal aid for her to scare me so that I would leave, so that I then don't show up to court, so that you can then proceed with the divorce in my absence. It was a legal, malicious tactic. I am aware of it.
And I have a recording of it. Surprise! Steyn, you are dumb.
I know what you did to me. It's obvious. I just need a court in South Africa who will let me speak to prove it. That little girl belongs with her mother. You stole her. You're withholding her. It's child abuse. It is. And it's kidnapping.
And the others are coming. So whether you're going to self-correct or be corrected is a matter of time. And in the meantime, a little girl, I can't even say what I think because I can't sleep.
I've reported what's going on, all the red flags. Everyone who has not taken action is liable. The doctor who didn't report it and do her statutory duty, she's liable. The practice is liable. I'm waiting for my report, for my test results. This matter will proceed. Chief Justice, Justice Principal, Judge Principal, whatever, whoever is in charge, I'm not sure. High Court, Concourt. Can someone please get hold of me? Tell me which court I must come to that will hear my application. I actually do want to go to court. I do want the law to be applied. Tell me where to come. Request the records. Hear my case. I want justice, please. Don't withhold a little girl from her mother when you've not allowed me to speak in court. And there has been no justice. There's been prejudice, there's been bias, there's been corruption, there's been child abuse, there's been perjury, there's been so many crimes committed. Jade Bradshaw is not her legal primary caregiver. He stole her and he stole primary care. Let that sink in. He stole primary care because it wasn't given to him. And the way that he obtained it wasn't just, it wasn't lawful. It wasn't correct, it wasn't truthful, it was based on perjury, it was based on crimes. so she doesn't legally have to be there, and I can prove it.
And the next fucking person who threatens Naomi Bradshaw is going to get double the words that come out of their mouth and be left somewhere. And if they can't get to a hospital, that's not my fucking problem.
Because the police and the prison wouldn't take me to hospital. I was left unattended. I was denied medical care. So that's not a threat. That's just apparently how it works here in South Africa. Do you know that the little piece of paper they gave me says I have a right to medical care? I begged and pleaded for medical care the entire damn weekend in pain. I didn't receive one Panado, one painkiller, one anti-inflammatory. I had open wounds that were dirty. They did not clean or disinfect them. This is Jeffreys Bay Police Station, by the way. I asked for medical care. And there is an officer that handles himself with respect and integrity and tried to help me. And he arranged for me to be taken to hospital because he's a decent human being. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate everything you did for me that weekend. He's a decent human being. He was trying to help. He arranged for me to be taken to the hospital. But it was delayed by interference from other police officers. And then he went off shift. And by the time the ambulance came, the new shift manager, a lady, a mother, oh, fellow woman and mother, after I explained to her that I had been pregnant, I was recovering from a cesarean, Captain Standard hurt me. I hurt on the inside. I need a scan. I explained this all to you. And you denied me medical care. You sent that ambulance away. The ambulance did come. I was sitting in it. She called me out of it and told me to come sit inside. She has to get permission. The permission was already done. It was done the day before by the male officer who had integrity, because it's the law for me to receive medical care. He had arranged it. You unarranged it. And you didn't even bring me Panado or anti-inflammatories or anything for the pain. Left me cold on the floor. I asked you repeatedly for toilet paper. You wouldn't bring it. This is how you, as an officer of the peace, as a station and shift commander, treated a fellow woman, a fellow mother. You denied me medical care. In prison, I was told, because I'm on trial, they don't have jurisdiction over me. They said if I was sentenced, they would have jurisdiction. They can take me to hospital and assist me. But because I'm on trial, I'm the police's responsibility.
Standard.
But the police denied me medical care. And the prison couldn't authorize it because I'm not sentenced, because I'm not guilty of anything. I was just there on trial. So I was refused medical care, scans, diagnoses. They did provide me with painkillers at least. Better than Jeffrey's Bay saps, at least. I was living on painkillers because I had to go to court and back 2-3 times a week to manage and stand in court to fight for my daughter and myself. I was living on painkillers. Only found out about the torn muscle afterwards, because only once I was released could I go to the doctor who did a scan, and then we could assess the damage and the injuries. This is what's happening in South Africa. This is the way you treat each other. It's disgusting. And you know, it's not even the worst. I've heard the stories of the women I was in prison with. I've driven in the streets. I've seen what goes on in the streets. I've been in people's homes. Magistrate Dixon, have you ever been to a safe haven? I have. Have you ever been to a place of safety? I have. Have you met with and spoken with children in places of safety and the reasons for them there? I have. The system is overloaded and overburdened with children in real need. Mothers in very, very difficult circumstances who abandon their babies. And these angels open up their homes and take care of these babies who get abandoned. And here I am in court standing in front of you, fighting for my daughter, wanting to mother my daughter, wanting her home safe, wanting to give her a loving home, and you want to put her into the system I have been in touch with a woman that has to constantly turn away abandoned babies and children because her home is full, because by law she's only allowed to have 6 kids. I asked her, what happens to these babies? What happens to these children? She said to me, I don't know. But by law I can't take any more and I'm full.
So she tried to help. But Dixon Stander, Spangenberg in Lane, won't fucking grow up.
I don't understand how you wanted to take a child away from a loving mother and put her into the system when the system is overloaded with kids who really need help. I repeat what I said in a previous video, you should not be a magistrate. Said with love and respect. Can someone please help me? Magistrate Dixon, can you please fix your mistakes? Elaine Porter, can you please fix your mistakes? Can you bring my daughter home? Because her mother is sitting here with love in her heart. And a home. And this is where my daughter belongs. I think that's enough for today.